So but I think the highlight reel probably wasn't the best because you're just seeing all the gruesome
You're seeing
shit.
the worst
right,
parts of.
You're not. There's no match build up or storytelling. So notable entrants include Necro Butcher, Ian Rotten, Eddie Kingston, Masada, and Johnny Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose. We may start calling him Johnny Moxley again soon.
That's true.
So various matches include Get Hit with Shit match, which, you know, you have water jug, bats, and anything you can swing at your opponent. You have Light Tube Celebration, which is light tube bundles and pits of Christmas bulbs. So it's a Home Alone nightmare. Barbed wire boards, light tubes, and thumbtacks match. Yes, all of that in one match. It's in the name. Light tube log cabin match. I don't want any part of that. Fans can bring their own weapons, which is also could be very tricky. And of course, fire death match where there's no ropes. There's flaming barbed wire. So if you thought the Inferno match was bad, imagine this one.
I don't want to.
So, just to say, there's other sides of wrestling that aren't that great for some people. But
there are other tournaments out there
yes.
that aren't as fun as the Cruiserweight Classic.
Unless you're into the blood and guts stuff, which, you know, or just hardcore wrestling in general, there you have it. You can check that out. CZW.
No, thank you.
Over 17 years of barbed wire and lightning tubes.
Let's talk a little more wholesome.
Okay, yeah, let's go there. What do you got?
So this was one of the tournaments that I first encountered. King of the Ring.
Ah, that was my first, well, other than the IC title one. But yes.
This was like the first kind of big, because like when I started, you know, like 93 was the first pay-per-view, but this had been happening since 85.
We mentioned it earlier with
Harley Race won it. Don Morocco won it in 85. I always found this very interesting. Randy Savage won it in 1987.
That's why he was the Macho King.
Right, but he wasn't the Macho King
until 92.
Yeah, like that's exactly what I was about to say. Like it was a lot longer than that. So when I started researching this, I was like, that's weird, but okay. We can look into that later. I mean, Ted DiBiase won pre-pay-per-view. Tito Santana. Bret Hart actually won in 91 pre-pay-per-view.
So he's a two-time.
Yes, and then won again in 1993 when it was pay-per-view.
And they immediately got attacked by Jerry the King Lawler.
Where he had to kiss, I mean, it resulted in a Kiss My Feet match.
Later, yes. At SummerSlam.
I mean, at certain points, like, you know, this was like you were on your, they were slapping a rocket ship on you. At this, I mean, Owen Hart won, and he climbed up the ladder. Mabel won, and they tried to send him up the ladder.
It didn't quite work out. I think that one was filmed in Philadelphia, which I believe was the ECW time, and I think that's the one where they had the ECW chance. So they had to try to.
Probably 95 people were like, what's the ECW?
Right.
Stone Cold, obviously. That was like, that
which was supposed to be Triple
moment.
H, right? Yeah.
That was the moment where they were like, oh Austin 316 says, I'm just going to print money off of this for the rest of my fucking life. Triple H, Ken Shamrock, Edge, Brock Lesnar. You know, this ended as a pay-per-view in 2002. That was the last one.
Which is upsetting. I was very upset.
They've had several since then. Booker T won in 2006.
Right. King Booker!
Which led to him finally winning the world title in the WWE.
Big gold belt.
William Regal won in 2008. I think they kind of cut his king reign pretty short. I think he got injured or something like that.
I think it was, injury.
Sheamus was king, and I thought...
I remember that. That was really good.
And the most recent king was Bad News Barrett, and I thought he did that pretty well. I thought his king gimmick was really good.
I really think they need to bring it. What year was that? They really need to bring that back.
That was 2015.
Oh, they totally need to bring that back.
I agree.
Because King Ricochet needs to be the king.
Oh, man, that would be so
He already called himself king outside of WWE.
I agree.
Yep. I'm going to take you now to Los Angeles. In the battle,
like a battle of Los Angeles?
There's a battle of Los Angeles. So, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, PWG, is this company in California. If you're not familiar with them, look them up. They mainly are famous for, like, everybody's come through there. Kevin Owens, El Generico, a.k.a. Sami Zayn, the Young Bucks, Adam Cole. They run out of this...
Boom.
Baby! They run out of this small building. Well, they've had to get a bigger building because I think the city of Los Angeles bought that building for whatever reasons. But they've moved to bigger buildings, and ever since 2005, they've been running this tournament called the Battle of Los Angeles. And it's been won in the past by Davey Richards, Siama, which as part of the Chinese company and All Elite Wrestling. Low Key, Kenny Omega, Joey Ryan, El Generico, a.k.a. Sami Zayn, Adam Cole.
Baby.
2 times by Ricochet, Zack Sabre Jr., Marty Scurll, and last year, Jeff Cobb.
Jefferson Cobb,
your never open weight and ROH TV title champ. So it's just a fun tournament they do every year, and it's like it gets a lot of social media buzz because PWG is a great company where it's just all about wrestling, and I'd love to go see Bola one day, or any PWG show for that matter.
But if you're gonna go, you might.
If
as
I'm
well
gonna
go.
yes.
The one. So we talk about we're talking about the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
WCW had a lot of incredible, shitty tournaments. I don't want to get into them. I don't want to talk about Lethal Lottery or like. I mean, we can, but the one I want to talk about now is I remember in '99. I guess Sting was heel at this point, which seems crazy to me. But anyway, Sting was heel, and I guess he
In what year? 1999?
99. Yeah, I guess Sting was heel.
Oh, was this the? I have no idea.
Because he like lost or he won a title, and but then he like I guess Hogan laid down for him. It was like kind of a screwy like thing where he won, and then Sting was like, "Well, I need a real match," and like Goldberg came out and Goldberg won, but then the next night on Nitro, Sting was like, "Well, I didn't fucking say it was for the title," and so finally they were like, "Fuck it, it's vacant. We're just gonna put it up. It's vacant," and they did a 32-man tournament for it. And
that's fucking huge.
That's what I said too. Like I was like 32, like that's nuts. And that's why I want to talk about it because like I remember watching this. I was very interested in this tournament, and this was 1999, mind
right?
You. WCW in 1999 was dog shit. So that should have told you something. That I was like, damn, a 32-man tournament. That's dope as hell.
Uh-huh.
And I would say the first 3 rounds are on TV. But I kind of like that.
Right.
I kind of like that the first couple of rounds were on TV. And, like, some of the first-round matchups were, like, important. Bret Hart versus Goldberg.
Whoa.
That was a first-round matchup.
Is that where you got the brain scrambies?
No. That was later. That was
Okay.
in, like, 2000. That match was actually also for Goldberg's U.S. title at the time, which Bret Hart then won. So, in this tournament for the U.S. or for the world title, he won.
That makes no sense.
This was WCW 1999,
I mean,
right?
exactly.
But then you had some like Billy Kidman and Conan. I don't really care about that.
No.
Ming and Medusa was actually.
I was gonna say, where was Ming in this?
He beat Medusa. Sting and Brian Knobbs.
Wow. Well, I mean, when you got 32 guys, they're not all going to be
right,
gold.
and that's exactly. But I think that's fine too because like it allows for like some people like Ming to get to like the second round and you're like, damn, Ming. All right, Ming, go for it. Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, but that match was great. Ernest Miller, Lash LaRue. Seems like a weird first round matchup, but all right.
Yep. No, thank you.
Vampiro, Berlin. One of the other ones, first round, Booker T, Jeff Jarrett. Great one.
Okay, there you go. That's a first round one. That seems like much later.
Yeah, no, first
build up
round.
to it.
So at the finals and the semifinals were at the WCW 99 Mayhem pay-per-view. So the semifinals were Bret Hart versus Sting and Chris Benoit versus Jeff Jarrett. The finals, Bret Hart, Chris Benoit. And I remember watching that match, and that was a really good match.
Was it better than their Nitro one from St. Louis?
I don't know. I mean, it's been so long.
Okay, fair enough.
I haven't really. I never really went back and was like, yeah, what is this all about?
Let me watch this, Jim.
But I remember being like, wow, this is a really cool fucking thing. And I wish they had done it better. But,
well,
I mean, Bret Hart did go over, which you can't really say was a bad thing in 99.
No. He was still, 2 years off of being screwed by WWF?
Well, they had finally like started using Bret Hart in a good way in WCW at that point. So
instead of just slapping him with certain things.
Yeah.
I want to talk about another heavyweight title, the NWA heavyweight title. So
probably a lot of tournaments for that one.
There was a fuck ton of NWA World Heavyweight title tournaments, but I want to talk about one in specific. So in September of 1993, WCW breaks away from the NWA. We brought this up in the NWA show. You guys can go
Straight
back in our archives. So Todd Gordon and Paul Heyman, which are the people running Eastern Championship Wrestling at the time, they were not yet Extreme Championship Wrestling, said, you know what?
Important to note that they were a part of the NWA
at that time. So they were like, we'll host the tournament. You come to Philly. We'll have it there. So they proposed this to the NWA board member, Dennis Corluzzo. So they would hold it there. However, Dennis was unaware that Heyman and Gordon were just doing this to get their company over and break away from the NWA. So they approached Shane Douglas about it because they knew Shane Douglas was going to win the tournament. And they were just like, hey, this is what we want to do. And Shane was like, fuck yes, let's do it. So it's a famous speech. Look it up. Shane Douglas wins the NWA championship and then immediately throws that son of a bitch on the ground and says, you can all kiss my ass.
A pretty iconic moment in
not only ECW, but
I would say pro wrestling.
Without a doubt.
It's just like it kind of like that moment for I also for a certain generation of fans, I think also it's iconic.
Do you think it's like that generation's pipe bomb? In a way,
I mean, I don't know because like it wasn't like a viral moment. It was just like one of those moments that like once you saw it and you heard about it, it was really cool. Like I had heard about it long before I saw it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I guess the ability to have video of anything now kind of makes like hearing moments like this through other people it's less likely that you will have been like, oh yeah, I heard from someone that this happened, or like I heard from a friend of a friend that said that this happened, to be like, hold on, let me pull it up on YouTube real quick.
Right.
So
yeah, like this past weekend we heard about Bret Hart getting attacked, and then all of a sudden, literally 10 minutes later, we have all the video we ever want to see. Yeah.
All kinds.
Yeah.
Watching Dash Wilder fucking give uppercuts and
real quick, and kind of looked over the back. It was like, huh, okay.
So yeah, but it was a very iconic moment. I don't know about this generation's pipe bomb, but it definitely was like,
well, not this generation, but like
that generation. Yeah. It definitely was like a moment where you were like, oh, okay, wow, that is not what I expected to happen.
So yeah, that's definitely one of mine.
I don't have any.
You don't have any more? Okay, well, I was thinking. So just another one for funsies. Shikara is another northeastern company. They lean a little more toward the comedy side, but their storytelling is fantastic because the way they have opened and shut that company a couple times has been really, really great.
That's definitely.
And they wrote it into the story. So, okay, so they do a King of Trios tournament, which apparently is their Wrestlemania week, like their biggest event of the year. And it's normally about 2 or 3 nights. So it's a 3-night tournament. They've done it since 2007, where you have all these, a lot of times, just random 6-man tag teams. So, like 2001, The Colony, which is Fire Ant, Army Ant, and Red Ant, which is a great little stable.
A lot of early Shikara was like full costumed wrestlers.
Right, like Johnny Gargano has been in it multiple times, but under masks. A lot of wrestlers have. In 2015, you had like Team AAA, which is Aerostar, Dargo, and Phoenix. In 2017, the winners were House Strong Style, Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate. But other fun teams, like they've had a couple Team WWF, one of which was One Man Gang, a.k.a. Akeem, and Demolition, Axe and Smash. Weird one. So Cold Front 2.0, Al Snow, D'Lo Brown, and Glacier. Whoever thought those guys would ever be together? You've got Team PWG, El Generico, and the Young Bucks, a.k.a. the Goobers. Team Uppercut was Brian Danielson, a.k.a. Daniel Bryan, Claudio Castagnoli, a.k.a. Cesaro, and Dave Taylor. Odd tag team indeed, but, I
don't know. That one makes, like, a sense. It's kind of like a strong style.
Very strong style. But you've had guys like Jerry Lynn, Tommy Dreamer, Too Cold Scorpio be together, Barbarian Ming, and the Warlord, 1-2-3 Kid, Aldo Montoya, and Tatanka.
Aldo Montoya, huh?
He literally came back as Aldo Montoya
awesome.
for 1 or 2 nights. The Young Bucks have teamed with AJ Styles, a.k.a. the Bullet Club, was part of 2015, and also the same year, the BWO, Big Stevie Cool, the Blue Guy, and Hollywood Nova. So it's just a fun little tag team they do every year. Women have also been a part of it. Team Original Divas Revolution, Jazz, Mickie James, and Victoria. So it's not just for the fellas.
So I think, a lot of fun tournaments. We could probably talk about tournaments.
We could talk about bad tournaments, too, like Brawl for All.
Brawl for All, Super Bowl, not Super Brawl, but like